you've been on the internet anywhere in the last 12 months and follow anyone in the health and fitness space, you'll have undoubtedly come across Whoop. Can I get a
Whoop whoop?
Can I get a
Whoop.
Whoop? Can I get a
Whoop whoop whoop?
But what is Whoop and why is everyone talking about it? Well, over the last 30 days I've been wearing this band everywhere to find out, is it worth the hype and is it still relevant in 2024? And it's your lucky day, folks, because in this video I have the definitive, undeniable, final answer. Well, in my opinion. So, let's get stuck in. Whoop is a wearable fitness tracker that monitors a wide range of information. It arrives in a minimalist box which just contains the Whoop itself, the battery, the charger, and no real frills. The tracker is designed to be worn at all times, and the more you wear it, the more accurate your data becomes. All of your data can be accessed via the Whoop app, which you're seeing on screen now. Whoop uses a scoring system called Strain, which measures how physically active you've been, and this scoring system changes throughout the day depending on how hard you've worked. It also provides a sleep tracker which breaks down your time in bed and your sleep efficiency, and this sleep score can be seen in the app the next day, which will range from 100% being a perfect night's sleep to 0% an all-night rave, baby! It then uses both these scores along with other things like resting heart rate to calculate your daily recovery score. And this daily recovery score is going to range from green, which is well rested and ready for the day ahead, to red, you've just finished your all-night rave and you need 24 hours in the fetal position to get out of the zombie zone. Now, to be completely transparent, I really wanted a Whoop, and when signing up I noticed there was a 30-day free trial option, so thought I would check that out first. Now, this option is actually available to everyone, so I'll put a link in the description below, but just to clarify, this is not a sponsored video. So with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. Now, I've broken this down into 5 positives and 4 negatives about the Whoop. So firstly, let's look at what I liked. One of the biggest insights I took away was how badly alcohol was impacting on my sleep and recovery. We know that alcohol increases your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your stress hormones, but I was shocked at how much of an impact just 1 or 2 beers would have. So as a result of wearing the Whoop, I'm much more conscious of my alcohol intake and will not just grab a beer sitting on the sofa just for the sake of it. Wearing the Whoop has also had an impact on my sleeping habits, and I'm now much more conscious of the amount of sleep I need and the impacts of a bad night's sleep. So making the effort to go to bed slightly earlier, when that Netflix next play button comes on, I'm much more likely to switch it off than go on a Selling Sunset death spiral to 2 in the morning.
Why is everyone just going at each other? Just get on! Like that view.
Jane, are you coming to bed? It's 2 in the morning.
5 more minutes! The Whoop is discreet within reason. It's just a small strap you wear on your wrist or bicep. There's no flashing lights or even a screen for distractions. There are even other items on the Whoop store that you can purchase, such as boxers or armbands, if you want to be even more discreet. But if you're wearing a Whoop band, the likelihood is you want people to know you're wearing a Whoop band. You know who you are. Unlike other fitness trackers in the market, you charge the Whoop while it's still on your wrist. You simply slip on this charging block and you're good to go. This way you lose no information while you're charging the band. Now, does this look awful? Yes, but charge it at home. Preferably in a dark room. Maybe with a long sleeve top on. Definitely by yourself. That way you avoid looking like an idiot. Now, this is a strange one to have in the positive takeaways, but I actually felt like there was a placebo effect with the Whoop, and it positively, subconsciously impacted my decision making. Whenever I was wearing the Whoop, I was very aware I was wearing the Whoop and made decisions based on that. So I was working out whenever I was supposed to, I was eating healthily, I was going to bed on time, and I was reducing my alcohol intake, all for fear of how it would impact my scores the next day. Also, whenever I began to feel myself getting worked up or stressed about something, I paused and took a few breaths for fear that the dreaded Whoop app would tell me I was stressed, which would cause me more stress. And then I'd be stressed about being stressed. And then I would try to de-stress, which would cause me more stress. And then I was stressed that I was stressed that I was de-stressed. And then So, those are the positive takeaways, I think. So let's look at some of the negatives. Right, first, let's get the big one out of the way, the cost. The Whoop works on a subscription model of $30 a month rather than a one-off payment, which means once you've signed up, you're essentially on hook for life or until you stop caring about your fitness anymore. So I'm 32, if I only care about my fitness till I'm 50, that's 18 years, which works out at $6.5 grand. Now, yes, you can get the Whoop slightly cheaper if you go on an annual subscription basis, but you get the point. It's very expensive. One of Whoop's biggest selling factors is its sleep tracker, which is kind of what all the fuss is about, but to be honest, I'm not sure how accurate the data actually is. I'm the parent of a 4-year-old boy who will just sometimes appear in the bed in the middle of the night. When he arrives in, your sleep is immediately wrecked. Like a little sleep terrorist, he arrives in the night, kicks you in the face, pulls the blanket off you and makes sure you're not getting a solid sleep from that point on. One particular night this 30 days, he arrived into bed about 3 AM and started his vendetta against my sleep. That morning, I was exhausted and was really interested as to how bad my sleep score would be. As I headed down the stairs to inject coffee directly into my veins, I checked the app and to my surprise, I had a score of 97%. 97%! I don't know how they are calculating these scores, but they're clearly not accounting for parents who are getting kicked in the head all night. There is a lot of information in the Whoop app and it can be overwhelming. Unless you're a serious athlete looking for an edge in your sport, then I don't think the Whoop is necessarily for you. In 2024, there's also been an update to the application that you can track 100 daily habits. This is crazy. Why do you need to track 100 daily habits? And what information are you getting out of this? For me, it's just too much information and there's not really any value add. Right, now last negative before we get on to the conclusion is that the Whoop doesn't really do anything. I mentioned in the positives about how discreet it was and we referenced there was no screen, but I actually really miss not having a screen on the Whoop. Now this is a design feature of the Whoop that the company are aware of and market as a positive. They believe that by not putting a screen on the band, or even the time, separates them from the competition as a serious sports tracker and not a smartwatch. But when you're spending this amount of money, you kind of expect it to do everything and you shouldn't have to wear a 5-year-old Apple Watch for some pretty basic features. So to conclude, is the Whoop worth the hype? Well, no.
Oh, hold up, wait a minute. Wow.
Not in my opinion anyway. The inaccuracy of the sleep score was a biggie for me. I couldn't look past it once I realised I was getting great sleep scores, but awful night's sleep. For me, that was Whoop's biggest selling feature and was kind of a deal breaker. I also felt it was creating really bad habits in the morning. Naturally, the first thing I would do when I woke up was roll over to check my sleep score. But the problem with this is you can very quickly close the Whoop app, open up YouTube, open up your email, and you start your morning looking for that dopamine hit, which isn't really a great way to start your day. I also talked about the placebo effect of the Whoop and how it made me make positive decisions based on what I thought would get me a good score in the app. But all the things I mentioned, you do not need a Whoop app to do. If I have learned anything in the last 30 days, it is this. You do not need a Whoop band to make positive mental and physical changes. Just do some exercise, go to bed at a reasonable hour, try to avoid watching screens in bed and excessive alcohol consumption, because these things will impact upon your sleep and recovery. Also remember that stress happens and it's a part of life, but it's about how you manage that stress. So identify your triggers and next time you're in that stressful situation, be conscious of it, take a breath and try decompress. Or remove yourself completely from that stressful situation. And finally, listen to your body. You are not David Goggins.
Stay hard!
If you need to take a break, take it. And don't feel you have to push yourself 24/7. Rest is as equally important to your physical and mental development as anything else you do. If you stuck it this far, thank you so much. I'll be uploading content like this going forward, so if you enjoyed it or learned anything, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you could like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.